So it's the end of the year again, and Team Fortress 2 is still just as alive as ever. In this update, we got new maps, it's kind of expected. We got new cosmetics, which is kind of expected at this point, 10 of them. Most of them just being reskins of previous maps. The new cosmetics, like I mentioned, they're pretty good. Some new taunts as well, but no war paints for some reason, kind of weird. I don't think I'll be going super in-depth reviewing the maps like I did in previous videos, because at this point, all these automatic updates are just expected to have a bunch of maps that you won't get to play before the bots invade, especially if you have a job or something, which is exactly what happened to me. So I'll just run through the maps I got to play and give my general opinions.
Now, Family Guy.
Brew was really good, even if it didn't fit the Smissmas theme at all and shouldn't have been added in this update. Same goes for Camber and Emerge, which are both very generally themed payload maps. Camber is okay, even if it does have some annoying sight lines. Kind of reminds me of Cactus Canyon. Anyone else remember that map? Emerge is annoying. I played a few rounds, I didn't really have much fun. Maybe it's my fault, but I don't know, I just kept getting lost somehow, and the choke points are very choky, and the flank routes weren't very helpful. It has the same issue Mercenary Park does, where it starts out pretty open-ended, but quickly becomes closed-in and claustrophobic. I don't really like it, but feel free to tell me if I'm wrong. What I was really surprised to see added was Harp. I played this map on custom servers back in the day, and more recently played around on it with my friends Indy and Zell, and we thought about how cool it would be if it was added in casual, and lo and behold, here it is. Attack the Flag is super fun. It's a fast-paced game mode that promotes quick rounds, great team fights, and overall I'm very fond of this map. And I love that it's got that whole interconnected world thing that early 3D platformers had, where you can see each stage of the map when you go and look around the cliffs and stuff. You can see the maps on the point that you're on. You'll see the next point that you're going to go to. Harp was created as an entry for the 2009 TF2Maps.net Attack Defense, Capture the Flag, and Payload Race contest, and won first place in the Attack Defend, Capture the Flag category. I hope its inclusion means that we'll be getting more of these. Carrier I didn't get the chance to play, but seeing as how it's just a winter version of the Halloween giant game mode, I'm clearly not missing much. It wasn't fun then, so probably isn't very fun this time around either. I guess turning into a robot is way cooler than an awkward giant, but if it controls the same and plays the same and has the same problems, what's the point? On the topic of maps that are actually kind of okay, Snow Tower is a King of the Hill reskin of Hightower, and while I don't like Hightower very much, I feel like the deathmatch nature of Hightower lends itself pretty well to King of the Hill gameplay. But because the actual map wasn't changed all that much, the entire southern area of the map feels like empty space because nothing's happening over there. All the action is focused around the control points, so why not make the map smaller or something to compensate? I don't know, just food for thought. Galleria and Turbine Center are some standouts, though. The shopping mall reskin for both Turbine and Nucleus are so well done, it would be pretty easy not to recognize the originals at all. Turbine is still Turbine, so your mileage may vary, slight tweaks to the map aside. But Galleria is super cool. If you've been watching me for a while, then you know that I'm a long time defender of player destruction, and I've made it clear before that repurposing King of the Hill or arena maps would make for the perfect play space for this game mode. Taking Nucleus and turning it into player destruction is so obvious in retrospect that it makes me wonder what took so long. Why didn't anyone else do this before? Of course, it being player destruction comes with the same drawback that every map of its kind has. It's really fun until the engineers come around. I love you, engineer. You know how many hours I have on you, but I really think that he should not be allowed in player destruction. If you ask anyone, I think they'll agree. It kind of just stops being fun almost immediately whenever someone whips out a level 3 or even just a mini sentry, but hey, that's just my opinion. Lastly, we have Hacksaw and Krampus. Hacksaw sucks, it's just a winter reskin of the Halloween map. For Hacksaw, you're cutting into the graves of the Mann brothers, that's fine, but here you're just cutting up a computer console? Why? And your progress doesn't even save like the Halloween version does. Why? It sucks. Moving on. Krampus is a King of the Hill map. It's nighttime, it's snowy, and it's got a really cool look and feel. It's made by Lizard of Oz, the same guy that made Versus Saxon Hail. The main draw is that the boss of the same name as the map will occasionally show up and fight everyone.
But my encounter, not a single soul.
Oh, it's Krampus! It's Krampus!
A huge problem is that when Krampus shows up, he locks the control point like it's a Halloween truce, and that's really annoying. I've played a lot of rounds on Krampus, and I've never once seen both teams band together to kill him, because he's more like an annoyance than an actual boss. He's just not threatening enough. He's too slow, he's too weak, his range is pitiful, and his coal bombs are pitifully easy to dodge. Here's what normally happens every single round, okay? He gangs up on one team specifically while the other team gets to just dogpile all over the control point and screw over anyone else that tries to show up. I think because he's AI controlled, it takes away a lot of the tension. So instead of being a force to be reckoned with like the horseless headless horseman, he's more like Marasmus, who just interrupts everyone's fun and forces you to deal with him. Except there's not even a truce this time, so again, everyone will just kill each other like nothing's even changed. Also, fun fact, I'm a voice actor. I got in contact with Wizard of Oz and I wanted to audition for the role of Krampus because I knew that was in development, but he ignored me. So I'm not bitter about that at all. The guy he picked is good. He's got an amazing voice, but I don't know. Maybe it was the direction he was given, or maybe he didn't get any direction at all and he was just told to do his own thing, which is not ever how you should direct your voice actors. But he comes off more as campy than actually intimidating.
If you value your life, you'll keep running! You think you can outrun the Krampus? Ha! Don't make me laugh! Ah, you thought you were alone in this town, didn't you? Well, not anymore. You should have died! No, no, no! No way in hell would I make this easy for you.
Which sucks, because this map was hyped up pretty well. So we got some maps that don't belong, but were added anyway because Valve can't just add in a weekly map pool, and we also got some pretty stellar cosmetics. I mean, this one Scout Mist kind of looks weird, a little too shiny for my taste, but I really like this Pyro set. I'm glad that's finally in the game. This soldier coat is pretty cool, this Columbo set for engineer is pretty cool, and I quite enjoy this jacket for heavy. That's definitely staying as a part of my loadout. I guess this one spy mask sucks and doesn't really go with anything and also clips with everything, so that's not very good. I don't really care about anything else, but they're all still pretty well made and good, so I'm just glad we're finally past the age of overly Christmassy type of items.
Ho, 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 ho.
Alright, I'm done talking about the actual update itself, so if I can pivot here for a second. This is probably the biggest year that TF2's had since Jungle Inferno. I can't really think of any other game like ours that gets the same kind of support it does and is still labeled as a dead game with nothing new being added. Yes, it's mostly maps and hats, but what other game gets as much content as ours and is still labeled as dead or not in active development? This year alone, we got over 36 maps. It doesn't matter if they weren't all winners. That many maps in 1 year, so many other games would beg for that kind of content. I think with the summer update and all these holiday ones, it's important to realize that if we were to rewind the clock back to 2017, 16, and so on, these holiday updates would have all been considered major updates. I've been playing since 2013. If we got an official Valve update that had 10 maps, it would have blown our balls off. It would have been amazing. They would have all been considered major updates.
The Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah, they don't have blog posts or real update pages at all, or that same kind of wow factor that came with getting Valve-made stuff. I guess it really is chalked up to presentation. But on average, we're getting more stuff to do every holiday update than we would have gotten with every real update from back in the day. This has been the biggest year for TF2 in a long time, and I guess, like I said, it doesn't feel that way because of lack of presentation or pizzazz, but really, it is. It's a really big deal that our game is still getting this kind of attention, and while, yes, sometimes it can be a little negative, and sometimes it feels like the game will never get a real, quote-unquote, real update, and the bots will never go away, but I really do think that maybe we should be a little grateful with what we get. And I know, not everything is perfect, not everything will please everyone else, but what we're still getting is really important, and I don't think we should take it for granted. And I don't need to get all Hallmark Christmas special on you guys, but like I said, we kind of feel like we should be grateful. I've been pretty negative about a lot of things this year, but from the bottom of my heart, I really am pretty happy to still get stuff to talk about. It's much better than how it used to be, where there was just nothing for like months and months and months, for years, where we would just get nothing. Bottom of the barrel, you know what I mean? Like, ever since Smissmas started, I'm just lucky to get shit to talk about. Besides, if we weren't getting any new content, what would I have to complain about? And you all know, I love complaining, alright? You have seen bits and pieces of my power to complain, but I promise you, you have not seen the peak, be it my raw complaining power, alright? And if that's not the true meaning of Christmas, then I don't know what is. My name is Waylon PK, but I feel you should know that by now. Thanks for watching this video, and if you liked it, leave a like, obviously. Drop a comment, too, to spread some holiday cheer, or eat me alive for my opinions. It's the holidays. Do whatever you want. Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays. Happy Holidays to all, and to all, a good night.